our grandparents or our parents are not going into a facility. We're going to do what we can to keep them at home as long as possible. So my grandfather ended up having to...
This is Blair Durham with Black Wall Street Today, your media hub for all things Black entrepreneurship, politics, news, and events in Hampton Roads and beyond.
When I say black, y'all say Wall Street. Black
Wall Street.
Black Wall Street. When I say black, y'all say Wall Street. Black.
Welcome to this 22nd edition of Black Wall Street Today, sponsored by Hampton Roads Black Restaurant Week. If you happen to be tuning in from our home base right here in Hampton Roads, Virginia, this is an amazing week to try out J&K Style Grill, Mango, since it's vegan, or all of the above. And definitely tell them that we sent you. This is hashtag WCW, or Women Crush Wednesday, leading healthcare entrepreneurs. I know we're going to hear some incredible stories of perseverance and some awesome information about conducting oneself within the healthcare space. I absolutely can't wait. I do want to point out, in light of Black History Month, that today's guests are following in the footsteps of many dynamic leaders in healthcare. In fact, most people recognize Sojourner Truth as a fervent abolitionist who was able to escape slavery and advocate for the rights of Blacks and women, but many don't know about her own career as a nurse. During her enslavement, she served as a nurse to the Dumont family. When she achieved freedom, she worked for the National Freedmen's Relief Association in Washington, D.C. As part of this position, she often spoke before Congress, advocating for nursing education and formal training programs. Not only that, Mamie Phipps Clark was the first African-American woman to earn a doctorate degree in psychology from Columbia University. She previously earned both her bachelor's and master's degrees from Howard University. Her experience in college, and specifically graduate-level courses, helped Clark realize the shortage of psychological services available to the African-American community and other minorities. Her groundbreaking research on the impact of race on child development helped end segregation and was influential in desegregation efforts, including the Brown versus Board of Education in 1954. It was her dedication and passion for adequate mental health services for all that prompted Dr. Clark to open her own agency to provide comprehensive psychological services to the poor, to Blacks in particular, as well as to families. In February of 1946, Dr. Clark and her husband opened the doors of the Northside Center for Child Development for those in the Harlem area. She worked in the center counseling and providing other psychological services from 1946 until 1979, when she retired. And although she retired, Clark served on different advisory boards and was still very active within her community up until the early 80s, when she passed away. So with that, our very first guest, Miss Alexandria Davis. With the launching of her business, Milestone LLC, Alexandria Davis' mission is to raise awareness of mental health issues in the local community and to help the affected population realize effective solutions and options in order to become more active and productive members of their community. Milestone focuses on treating its clients as unique individuals with a specific focus on early identification of mental health issues and the appropriate intervention. As a strengths-based business, Milestone emphasizes the potential of each individual and encourages independence and integration in a productive role in the community for all individuals. Alexandria, I'm so excited to have you here today. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. I'm so inspired, first of all. You know, I have a background in mental health.
Right.
And there's just a huge need in our community. So I want to hear about how it is that you got started. Why did you get started in mental health?
Well, I wanted to give back more to our community, and I have about 12, 14 years experience in community mental health.
Wow.
And my inspiration for starting it initially was my daughter. I have a 6-year-old, Bailey, and it just became much greater to give back to the community that we serve. To really be an advocate for those individuals who cannot advocate for themselves.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so there's such a great concentration in terms of the need in our community. And I think folks need to see people that look like us.
Right. Because a lot of times we don't talk about mental health in our community. We've taught to keep it in the family. Mm-hmm. We've taught to, don't tell anybody the family business. Well, how can I not tell the family business when the family is the one that's hurting me? So a lot of times I know I run into a lot of clients that do not have a lot of primary care providers or therapists that look like them. So just being able to be that inspirational hope. I still conduct my own assessments now, and so just going out when I talk to individuals in the community.
So you're not hands off. You are in there with the day-to-day grind, working with those.
That actually give our clients a little relief and a little bit of the personal touch, because they see me when I do the assessments, and kind of give them that added encouragement to want to do better.
I love it. Okay, so take me back even further. You said 12 to 14 years. This was something that you just knew, kind of.
Yes. Well, my undergrad is in social work. So I was a social work student. So, of course, newly graduating, you want to save the world. You want to be able to, that doesn't always happen that way. So just doing community mental health, and I, saw it was done the wrong way, and I kind of wanted to do it the right way.
Yeah.
Kind of keep the focus on service first. So service first, God first, because without Him, none of this would have been possible. And then just serving the community.
That's awesome. So I have two questions. First, I want to ask, when you are wanting to reach new clients, right, and you're wanting to kind of get the word out that these services are available and that they benefit us, is there resistance there? And if so, how is your agency kind of working to break that down?
Absolutely. The resistance is always there, because who wants to say they have a mental health diagnosis? Who wants to say that they are different, right? When we live in a society that wants us to be the same. So, of course, we have barriers. So I, again, let them know there's no judgment. All of us suffers from some mental health diagnosis. So just kind of normalizing the behaviors and just normalizing that it's okay to seek help. Because once we've identified it, then it's like, okay, well, here are the resources that you need to partake in order to get the treatment that's needed.
And so what does that look like practically? Are you out in the community giving talks about mental health?
So we do, last year we did what we call a mental health seminar, where we were at Portsmouth Social Services, because the agency is located in Portsmouth, even though we service the entire Hampton Roads area. So we did a mental health talk. So we invited everybody out in the community. It was a free event. And we had a psychologist, myself was there. We kind of did a round table to kind of just discuss mental health, some of the maybe triggers, and just some of the common known mental health diagnoses. And we were just able to just have a dialogue. So that was available for family members, because sometimes it can be trained on family members that, do not know what's happening with their particular family member, because it's like, if you're not trained in the profession, a lot of people do not know the behaviors or triggers.
If you're just tuning in, this is Blair Durham with Black Wall Street. Today, we're having a great conversation with Alexandria Davis, who is the owner of Milestone Mental Health Agency, just talking about her practice and how it is that she's able to give back to the community. I have a question there. You mentioned something about the impact of mental health on family members. What kind of services or resources are there to support family members?
Well, the NAMI group is available for the family, but what I've done at Milestone is provided that we do have a group for the family members to come in to just talk about, how they're being affected from their vantage point. So we do have a group.
Wow.
For our family members, for those the individuals that's involved, because we have a children's program. We do intensive at home. Okay. So for the parents, the uncles, aunts, anyone that's involved in the child life, because we know it takes a village, right? So we try to use all of the resources that we can to kind of provide wraparound services.
I'm going to have you say more about that part in a second, because I definitely want people to know how they can reach you and what they should be reaching out to you for. But before we get to that, let me ask this. And this is more of a mentorship question, right? When you're thinking about somebody who might be ready to venture down that path of starting their own agency. So they have the training in terms of working in counseling. Maybe they don't have the entrepreneurship. Okay. What kind of advice would you give to somebody that wants to? become your competition?
I would say, well, there's no such thing as competition, right? Whatever God has for me, He has for me. And whatever He has for the other person, they will receive it as well. But I will say, stay committed to yourself. Motivation. You have to motivate yourself because it's going to look like you're going to feel like you're giving up. And it's going to look like, it's not going to look the same. So I would definitely say stay motivated, stay encouraged, even if you have to encourage yourself. And sometimes that is so difficult, but it will happen because if it's something that you want and you're going to try to achieve it, and I will just put that out there. If anyone, especially in my field, is trying to open up their own mental health agency, contact me because I would be willing to, help motivate them and help give them some little nuggets that I could use. Absolutely. Because if I had some nuggets that I could have used and not make some of the mistakes I made 2-3 years ago.
Wow.
So absolutely, because that's a part of giving back, right? We have to make sure we give back.
So just to reiterate, Alexandria is offering herself up for mentorship if anyone is moving into the entrepreneurship space in terms of mental health.
Absolutely.
We have
to give back and help each other.
I'm sorry, I'm dropping things over here. So let's talk more about specifically the services that you provide and how it is that you can be reached.
We provide mental health skill building services, which is services to individuals who's 18 and over. They have to have a mental health diagnosis, been hospitalized within their lifetime, and just prescribed psychotropic medications in the past 12 months. Okay. And we help those individuals just to become self-sufficient in their community, and that can look like an array of things: housing, employment, helping them get linked to other resources that they have available, just advocating for them. We also offer intensive in-home services, which is for the children ages, the youngest is age 7 to 17.
Okay.
And we help with those individuals with behavior issues, maybe truancy, anger management, any in-school suspension or out-of-home placement that we deal with that. We work with those children for that as well with the parents, because we do provide groups for the parents as well. And then we have a crisis stabilization program that we do for adults and children.
You mentioned truancy, and that stuck out when you said that. So are the qualifications, so to speak, the same in terms of how you're able to start working with children? Do they also, already have had to have a mental health diagnosis and things like that?
No, with the children, they more so have to have issues in school because the intensive in-home services are done more so at the home. Okay. So we're thinking a combination with a counselor at school and the counselor inside the home. And it's a Medicaid-funded program, so those individuals who may need our services do not have to worry. Medicaid will pay 100% of those services. And also for individuals who may meet the criteria for our program but do not have Medicaid, we have been assisting individuals with getting their Medicaid benefits and also bringing them into services, because we know that we need to advocate. That Medicaid application is cumbersome. So
you said if there's an identified need, something that may be happening at school, that could be enough potentially to get a student, a child,
in services for intensive in-home. Yes, because our services more so happen in the home, because we're trying to work on that behavior with the authority figure, which a lot of times the behavior will start in the school and carry out at home as well, or vice versa. And so we more so stick inside the home. And sometimes we go to, EAP meetings and different things like that for the IEP meetings for the individual for school.
Wonderful. I'm excited.
Yeah.
So tell folks how you can be reached. Did you already mention that?
We are located in Portsmouth. Our address is 613 High Street, and our phone number is 757-606-2802. Or you can visit the website. Our website is www.milestonementalhealthagencyva.com.
mentalhealthagencyva.com. People call after the show and they want to figure out how to reach the guests. I think that's great. So 613 High Street. Could you say the phone number once more?
757-606-2802.
2802.
And they can ask. Courtney is the office manager, and then Arlette is our program manager, and Michelle is our clinical supervisor. So they can ask for one of those individuals in the office, and they'll be able to help them.
Okay. Fantastic. Let me go back to a business question. What is your growth scale in terms of your business? Where do you see yourself 5-10 years from now in terms of milestone?
I see. I would love
because there's such a tremendous need, right? And I see with mental health awareness growing the way that it is, how are you poised to kind of take advantage?
I would love for a milestone to maybe attach to a school and give back some scholarships and give back more in the community. That's what I would love to see milestone do.
I love it that you answered in terms of your contribution, right? Most people say, I want to have 3 more locations. And no, I want to see us giving back more.
I want to see us giving back because one of the things...
I think that's the right perspective.
When I go out and I market our program, individuals know that we're going to do the work. So we don't really have I'm not going to say we don't have a need because we refer. Yes, absolutely refer, right?
Sure.
And we want to grow. But marketing is easy for us because we have such passion and compassion for what we do. And so individuals see that. And so they always want to be where you're going to take care of them, right? So that's why I want to see. And how can you do community work if you're not in the community?
Right.
So that's why I want to get a little bit more involved in the community.
Partnership with the school for scholarships. Anything else?
Yes. That's what I see us doing, and maybe doing some interns, getting in contact with some of the colleges and taking a couple interns because I have to.
You have those opportunities available now?
Well,
internship opportunities?
Yes, if I can get in contact with some of the schools. I know Norfolk State, I've reached out to them, but just waiting on them to contact us back and see what it is that we could do.
Got it.
To provide, to be an internship site for some of the counselors and social workers that they're training.
Hashtag add this to the list is a delicious treat brought to you by Hampton Roads Black Restaurant Week. Are there some restaurants you're longing to try in Hampton Roads? This is a great week to do it. We are supporting Black businesses all over the region, from Mango in Hampton to J&K Style Grill in Virginia Beach. These restaurateurs would love to see your face in the place. Our next guest is Latasha Vaney. After 10 years working in a facility, Latasha Vaney recognized the impact that a caregiver can have on someone's quality of life. Following her passion for taking care of others, she started her own business. As the owner of Caring Hearts and Hands Home Healthcare, Latasha provides personal care services to the elderly or disabled in the privacy of their own home. Latasha, I am so super proud of you, first and foremost.
Thank you so much. And thanks for the opportunity to be on. I appreciate that.
It's great having you here. And so I know that Caring Hearts and Hands has developed. It is not just a single solution at this point. You're doing all kinds of things under your brand. Talk to the audience about what all you have going on.
Okay, I'm the owner of Caring Hearts and Hands, which I started in 2014.
Okay.
I worked with that business for about 3 years before branching over to a location over in Gloucester, which now I have a partner at that office, Ebony Nickens. It's called Home Care Associates.
Nice.
Also, while doing that, I decided that I wanted to help others become business owners as well. So I started what I call CNA Business Solutions, which offer the opportunity for other CNAs, which you don't really have to be a CNA, but to others to start their own home care business as well.
Okay.
And just recently, I started the Caring Hearts and Hands Foundation, which is a nonprofit. And what we do is try to give back to the community, to help with the homeless and, provide, something for, others to be able to, a resource to the community.
Sure. And I definitely want to hear more about that vision because I think it's an important one. So, wow. 4 businesses.
It's a lot.
Was that your vision starting out? Did you know that you were going to become this quote unquote serial entrepreneur within this healthcare space? Or did one thing just lead to another? How did we get there?
One thing kind of led to another. When I first started, I actually had no clue on what I was doing. I just knew I wanted to be a business owner and I wanted to start a home healthcare agency.
Sure.
At the time when I started, there was no one that I could actually call and say, hey, how do I do this? So I kind of learned the ropes by trial and error all the way through. And, as I learned, I realized that, hey, there's a need for this service or there's a need for that. So I, kind of reached out and learned other areas that, I could add with what I have and grow from there.
I know when we talked, you shared one service that you all provide, and I got really excited about it because I know there's a huge need with the elderly in particular. Talk about that service.
With the services that we provide, what a lot of people don't know is if they have Medicaid, we offer services such as meal prep, which is one of them. Meal preparation is which, we'll go into the home for the seniors who need meal prep. Maybe they can't move around in the kitchen anymore, or, maybe there's no family member to come in and help them with their meals. So we go into the homes and we will prep for them their meals. Of course, with Medicaid, they have to, have another need for services other than just the meal prep. They may need assistance with bathing and dressing, things of that nature, to add with it. Mm-hmm. But it is a service that's provided through Medicaid, so if you don't have the private pay funds, then Medicaid does cover the services.
And that's definitely something that your business and our first guest, Alexandria's business, have in common in terms of the Medicaid funding.
Yes.
Huge,
yes. And the thing is, a lot of people don't know that those services are available through Medicaid.
Right. So, I know that meal prep one. I mean, it just shocked me to hear about it. The meal prep industry is another that has skyrocketed. Everybody's talking about meal prep. People are paying hundreds of dollars per week to have meal prep done. And then I'm looking like, man, I wish I could have meal prep done.
Me too.
And to hear you say that that's something that you can offer seniors who, a lot of times they're living alone. And so it's just, somehow it's seemingly more convenient for them to eat out. But then obviously that's not as healthy.
Exactly.
And so to come in and offer that, I just think that's tremendous.
Yes. And we're looking more into it. And then, the more we learn about the services, the more we're going to put it out so that the community is aware that the services are available.
Sure. So actually, let me quickly announce, if you just tuned in, this is Blair Durham with Black Wall Street Today. This is our focus on hashtag WCW, leading healthcare entrepreneurs. We're having a conversation with Miss Latasha Vaney, who is the owner of the Caring Hearts and Hands brand. I want to hear more about the consulting business because you said something critical. You said we often lack mentorship.
Sure, very true.
So we really bust our knees and we're twisting our ankle trying to get started. And so talk more about your consultancy.
So with the consulting service, what I did was I looked back at how much of a struggle it was for me when I first started. Like I said before, there was no one for me to reach out to. There was no information or that I could just grab. Mm-hmm. So as I learned everything, I just wanted to make myself available to others. So they don't have to go through some of the things that I went through and start up. I'm there to assist them the whole way. With the consulting services, so far I've helped about 7 or 8 people start their own home care businesses in the last couple of years.
Wow.
I'm always available by phone. A lot of times they call me by phone if they get stuck or if they have a question, and I assist them. I always make myself available. So.
Awesome. So let me ask you for some free advice for someone starting out with a healthcare business. First of all, what is the market like for your particular clientele?
It's very competitive. There are so many home care companies out here. But what I always say is there's something about my company or something about your company that's going to separate you from everyone else.
Mm-hmm. Your brand.
So, yes, your brand. So, even though it can be competitive, I kind of don't look at it in that way. So that's why I'm always open to help someone else open up the same type of business. It's majorly just putting yourself out there. There's a lot of larger companies that's been in business for years. And people are, more willing to go to those companies than you, but you have to brand yourself, and separate yourself from everyone else. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So it sounds like there's a lot of opportunity. In other words, there's a huge need for the services that you're providing. So
there is. And
it's a good business to get into. It
is. And people are aging every day. So there's services always needed each day,
Okay. What else would you tell somebody new? Somebody just starting out, maybe they just finished a CNA, they know they want to start a business. What would you say to them?
I would say go for it. You know what your passion is when you start doing something. You know if it's for you or if it's not. When I first started, taking care of others is what I love to do. So I knew this is the field I wanted. There were so many distractions along the way. There were so many things that made me want to say, hey, I can't do this. But then I always went back to my why. Why is it that I'm doing this? And I'm doing this because this is what I love. I watched my grandparents age in place at home. I took care of them as, I was younger. So I've always had that passion. So that's what made me push to do what it is that I really want to do.
Yeah, I think that's huge. Again, if you're just tuning in, this is Blair Durham with Black Wall Street Today. We're talking with Latasha Vaney, the owner of the Caring Hearts and Hands brand. You talked about your why, your grandparents. I feel like our culture doesn't lend itself all the time to taking care of the elderly. So to hear you say, at a really young age, nope, that's a solution I want to put in place. I just think that's commendable because a lot of times you see the elderly taking care of the elderly.
That's true. That's true.
The elderly.
Yeah. And with my family, we had that thing where, our grandparents or our parents are not going into a facility. We're going to do what we can to keep them at home as long as possible. So my grandfather ended up having dementia, confused, didn't know one day from the other. But it didn't matter. We set up ourselves in shifts and we took care of him, and he stayed at home until he passed away. So, the same thing with my grandmother. She ended up having a stroke. She did end up going into a facility because she had needs that we couldn't provide at home. But we still took shifts and we made sure we were there all the way.
Talk about the specific services that you're able to provide. I know we talked about meal prep, and I know you talked about some of the other things too, but what does it look like? I mean, how many hours per week can someone get these services for, let's say, their grandparent?
Okay. The services we provide services all the way up from 4 hours a day to 24 hours a day.
Wow.
If it's Medicaid, of course, there's, there's like numbers that we have to play around with guidelines. You may get 4 hours a day, you may get 8 hours a day. Sometimes you're lucky and you'll get more. If they're paying private pay, they can pay for whatever hours it is that they would like. Okay. And what we do is we go into the home, we do things like bathing and dressing. We do help them with ambulation. We do toileting. We do light housekeeping. We do the meal preparation. So we do everything so they can keep their quality of life, and remain in their home.
How can you be reached if someone wants to get in contact with you about referring a loved one?
Okay, you can always contact our office. The office number is 757-873-4000. We're located at 734 City Center Boulevard, Suite C in Newport News, Virginia. And our website is caringheartsandhands1.com. We're always available 24 hours a day.
Caring Hearts and Hands, the number one.com.
Yes.
And that was 757-873-4000?
Yes, correct.
Okay. And that's no matter where I am, if I'm looking to receive services, I can start with that phone number?
Yes, you can. And that number after hours is transferred to an on-call phone, so we're available around the clock.
Okay.
Yes.
And I asked this question earlier because I always like to hear vision. What else is Caring Hearts going to do?
Well, my goal right now, we're providing personal care services only, but my goal in the future is to turn it into a skill service where we can provide physical therapy, we can provide wound care and all that in the client's home. So that's my goal in the future. I'm working on it.
Awesome. Latasha, thank you. This has been an absolute honor. You are an inspiration.
Thank you, and thanks so much for the opportunity.
For sure. I look forward to having you on again.
Thank you.
All right. It looks like we actually have Shanita Lacey, one of the owners of the Black-Owned Restaurant Association on the line. Shanita, are you there?
I am. How are you, Blair?
I'm doing well. Thanks so much for joining us. I was sharing earlier
Thanks for having us.
For sure. This week's edition of #Add This to the List is all about Hampton Roads Black Restaurant Week. Can you give us just a couple minutes? What are some of the exciting things that you have going on?
Well, Black Restaurant Week is just actually uniting some of the Black-owned restaurants that are participating to be able to provide lunch specials and dinner specials for our patrons. We it's very interactive with our Hampton Roads Black Restaurant Week bingo, where you take your bingo card around and you receive a sticker for the restaurants that you went to and enjoyed some of their food.
Okay. And you guys are doing some giveaways with that as well?
We sure do. We have a stay. We have a whole package. They'll have a stay at the Mango Bed and Breakfast. They'll have brunch at Mango's, lunch at Wing Bistro, and also be able to receive some other incentives that we have that will go along with that package. So
let me go get my bingo card. That is exciting, Shanita.
Yeah, you can actually print that bingo card offline.
Okay.
Our website is hamptonroadsbrw.com, and you can print that bingo card out and carry it around with you. And when you get to the last restaurant, you drop it off there, and then one of the Black-Owned Restaurant Association members will pick those up, and we'll have a drawing next week.
Wonderful. Shanita, before I let you go, can you give us maybe 10 of the participating restaurants? I know we talked about Mango already. Who else is participating?
So of course we have Mango, we have Wing Bistro, we have Beyond Vegan Cell Food, Phoenix Restaurant and Lounge, we have J&K Style Grill, we have a plethora of restaurants. My goodness, we have Martin's Soul Food.
Wow.
And Jerk Time, which is an actual food truck. And
Okay.
yeah, and if you go to our website, all of the information is up there. The website is hamptonroadsbrw.com. Put your email address in there, and we'll be able to send you updates. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and you'll be able to get pictures and see all the things that are going on in the community with Black
Perfect,
Restaurant.
Shanita. Thank you so much for calling in. We are all participating and super excited. Thank you again for this offering, and we'll talk soon.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Our final guest in our hashtag WCW Leading Healthcare Entrepreneurs is a nurse entrepreneur, author, and speaker. Arlie Hatcher touches the lives of people of all backgrounds through her business, Heart to Heart Career Training Center. She's a catalyst in providing certification programs for medical professionals. Her newest jointly owned family business, Peak of Joy 3D Ultrasound and Spa, offers a special experience for expecting families via 3D and 4D imaging. Fusing the classic style from her mother and grandparents with her new school forward thinking, she innovates this corner of the maternity industry by also offering the families who visit their studio and spa many ways to immortalize such a special time period in their lives. Arlie, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so grateful to be here.
Don't make me cry.
Don't.
Arlie, I'm so inspired by you. Please tell us this story. Was this, I knew what I wanted to be when I grew up, when I was 10, and I've just been working on it ever since? Or how did this come about, your dream, your passion?
Well, it started off with being a nurse. I come from a family of nurses. Okay. My mother is a registered nurse who now has her doctorate. Hi, Dr. Crew. She's listening now.
Hi.
My grandmother, she's a registered nurse as well. I have many nurses and, healthcare providers in my family. And I've just always been inspired to be a nurse. I was so proud of the work that they did and how they were able to help people. And I always just saw them as being these smart, powerful women. And I just knew that that's what I wanted to be.
So this is legacy.
Definitely legacy. Definitely.
This is what it was going to have to be.
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
So as I got into the nursing field, I started, with my family. And when I had my first daughter, I knew that, I wanted to be in a position to be able to spend more time with her. I wanted to be able to, still provide for my family, but at the same time, still be able to be a full-time mom, there as much as possible. Mm-hmm. So I did that by starting Heart to Heart CPR, which has now turned into Heart to Heart Career Training Center.
Wow. So initially you were just providing the one training.
Yeah.
CPR.
Just CPR. And when I was doing CPR, I realized that I was still working full time. I was teaching CPR on the weekends, Saturday and Sunday. So now I'm working 7 days a week, which is totally not what I was trying to do when I started it all. Yeah. So that pushed me to offering the career training programs, getting a team involved so that I could maximize my time with my family and still grow my business at the same time.
How's that working out?
Oh,
The work-life family balance.
It has gotten much, much better over the years because as my business has grown, I have learned a lot more. People always say, if I knew then what I knew now. Thankfully, I've invested in coaches and read lots and lots of books and studied as much as I could so that I'm able to, have a business that doesn't require me to be there 100% of the time. Of course, there are still many things that I do in my business, but it's not working day in and day out there like I was before.
I read somewhere, Arlie, that you have graduated over 7,000 students.
Yeah, we've been open since 2010. We do so much. We do CNA training, medication aid, pharmacy technician, phlebotomy, EKG technician. We were just recently approved for medical assistant and a patient care technician program. In addition to that, we do BLS, ACLS, PALS training. Plus, we do instructor courses for the BLS instructor, ACLS instructor, PALS instructor, plus Heart Savers classes.
That's a lot. What was that, like 15?
Something like that.
Huge.
Yeah.
So, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say we try to meet as many needs as possible for people who need training. We try to be a one-stop shop. If you are going to nursing school, you obviously have to have CPR training. And a lot of times it's easier to get into nursing school if you have already done CNA training. So we try to help them as many ways as possible. Not only that, if you need to make money while you're in college, a great way to do that is to become a CPR instructor. You can teach for yourself. You can teach for heart to heart. There are many ways that we try to, help people to be self-sufficient.
Lovely. If you're just tuning in, this is Blair Durham with Black Wall Street Today. We are sitting with the lovely Arlie Hatcher, the owner of Heart to Heart Career Training Center and Peak of Joy 3D Ultrasound and Spa. Let's hear about Peak of Joy. Your second baby.
So Peak of Joy is most definitely my baby. Peak of Joy was started because when I was pregnant with my daughter, I really wanted to be able to go to a one-stop shop. I went to a 3D ultrasound studio, but I was like, man, it would be so nice if I could have gotten a massage, if I could have learned infant CPR, even though I already knew it. But I was thinking about other moms who need to know infant CPR.
You're teaching infant CPR at Peak of Joy?
Yes, we teach infant CPR, and it's free. We teach free infant CPR at Peak of Joy because it's so important that our moms know the steps to take if you're in an emergency. If there's an emergency with your baby, the time to learn it is not after the emergency happened. So we try to prepare them as much as possible. We also do 3D 4D ultrasounds. They can see their baby on their 100-inch screen, and you can record the baby's heartbeat inside of a teddy bear and take the bear home with you, and you'll have that heartbeat sound for forever. We do prenatal massages. We're going to be adding on a few other things in the springtime. So, yeah.
Prenatal massage. Very cool. So I like the one-stop shop concept because a lot of times, time is of the essence.
Yes.
So we're able to come in and really leverage that 1-2 hours and get all of this done. Where's Peak of Joy located?
Peak of Joy is in Williamsburg. The address is 241 McLaw Circle. We're in Suite 103. You can follow us on Instagram at Peak of Joy 3D or on Facebook at Peak of Joy 3D Ultrasound and Spa. We do self-scheduling so they can schedule online their appointment. You can call. Of course, we would love to talk to you. And we can tell you your gender as early as 9 weeks pregnant through early gender DNA testing. It's 99.6% accurate, which is nearly 100%. But we don't want to say 100%. Yes, the blood comes straight out of your arm.
Okay.
And the way that it works is all women have XX chromosome. All men have XY chromosome. Any pregnant woman, when you draw her blood, if you find a Y chromosome in it at all, obviously she's carrying a boy. So that's how it works.
Wow.
They find out in 2 business days. Unless they want to pay the extra $20, then they can find out in 1 business day. It's awesome.
Yes, it really is. We've got just a couple minutes remaining. That's not even the half of what you do because you're also an author and a speaker.
Yes.
So what are you writing about and where can we find your books?
So my book is on arliehatcher.com. I have 2 books, actually. The first one is called Heart of a Mompreneur. It's a combination of stories about female entrepreneurs who are moms and how they're balancing their business and their babies. And Shift from Burnout to Boss, that is also a collection of stories about myself and other nurse entrepreneurs who are sharing their stories about how they transition nursing into entrepreneurship. It tells their stories. It gives many great ideas about, what other people who are looking to get into business but not quite sure where to go. It tells them what to do and how they did it.
I love it.
Yeah.
You mentioned arliehatcher.com. How else can you be reached?
I'm on Facebook, Arlie Hatcher. I'm on Instagram at The Entrepreneurs. I would spell it out, but I spell really quick. It's basically entrepreneur, but when you get to the end, write nurse. So it's The Entrepreneurs _ Yep.
_ Okay.
That's
and then
it.
I am going to spell out arliehatcher.com.
Oh, yeah.
Or do you want to spell it out?
I'll spell it. It's ARLEIGHATCHER.com. You don't know what a struggle it was for me to spell it slow just now.
You did well.
Thank you so much.
arliehatcher.com. You said we can get the books there as well?
Yes, my book is on arliehatcher.com. Send me a Facebook message. I love to chat with people and connect. So,
and I know you're speaking at schools and different things like
Yes.
that to give back to the youth,
absolutely.
which is so needed.
Yeah.
When I see
So much.
entrepreneur programs now, I'm like, man, they didn't have this when I was growing up, you know? So I just love everything that looks like mentorship, particularly in the entrepreneurship space. Thank you for that.
Yes.
This has been a phenomenal show. Shout out to #WCW Leading Healthcare Entrepreneurs, Arlie Hatcher, Alexandria Davis, and Latasha Vaney. Few announcements for you all. Black Brand is having a general body meeting on the second Saturday of March. Meeting begins at 12 noon. We will have an Access to Capital presentation during the meeting for a program that is licensed by the Small Business Administration. You definitely want to take advantage of the opportunity to gain as much as $150,000 capital for your business. Also coming up soon, Hampton Roads RealCon 2019, our annual real estate conference. Whether you're interested in mortgage and tax liens, if you're wanting to learn how to flip properties, if you're interested in real estate brokerage, if you want to learn more about the opportunity zones, you definitely want to be a part of HR RealCon 2019. That's happening on Saturday, April 6th at Old Dominion University. You can get your tickets at hrrealcon2019.eventbrite.com. Coming up, if you're tuning in from around the country, Power Rising, taking place in New Orleans. February 21st through 24th, the Power Rising Summit provides a space for Black women to turn their power into action and create an actionable agenda. Now's the time to rise up against injustice, bigotry, and any obstacle that stands in the way of our goals. The summit is organized around 5 key pillars of activism and engagement. They include business and economic empowerment, culture, community and society, education, technology and innovation, health and wellness, and of course, political empowerment. So prepare to level up in each of these pillars. Next, the Black Women Talk Tech event happening from February 27th through March 1st. If you're tuning in from New York, this is certainly the place to be. Black Women Talk Tech's 3rd annual Roadmap to Billions 2019 conference is an annual tech conference created exclusively by Black women founders for Black women founders. It's no surprise that Black women in tech are the least funded and supported. So for women who are trying to build billion-dollar companies, heck, even million-dollar companies, this conference creates an environment to foster deep connections and create real funding opportunities. 3rd, Black Enterprise Women of Power Summit, happening February 28th through March 3rd in Las Vegas. The first conference of its kind, the Women of Power Summit is a professional leadership conference designed especially for executive women of color. For women in the C-suite looking for a tribe of women to call their own, this is for you. This event brings together more than 1,000 influential businesswomen from across the country, and with a backdrop like Las Vegas, prepare to mix your business with a little bit of pleasure. Last is Summit 21, happening June 7th through 9th, 2019 in Atlanta. 2190, the sister brand to Blavity, is a lifestyle brand focused on the empowerment of women of color, specifically millennial women, through learning, growing, discovering, and connecting as a community. The 2-day conference, taking place June 7th through 9th in Atlanta, is set to give entrepreneurs, creators, and influencers the opportunity to gain invaluable insights to achieving their goals while utilizing the latest tools and products from leading innovative partners. This is Blair Durham with Black Wall Street Today. I really enjoyed it. Look forward to talking next week. Stay with us online at Black Wall Street Today on Facebook and Black Wall Street Today on Instagram, and then follow us on Twitter as well at BWS Today. We look forward to talking again next week. Have a wonderful week. I have said and I will continue to say that the most important priority for the Black community is the Black community, not a particular political party. Phenomenal.